Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah. Over the weekend, I treated myself to the 1988 monster horror flick, Cellar Dweller. Let's check out this trailer. Let's see what it's all about and do some talking, shall we?
That's the ghost of Colin Children.
Very first thing, when I started playing this and I saw Jeffrey Combs was in it, I got super excited because this dude is like top tier B schlocky horror film, and I think he's like the #1 H.P. Lovecraft horror actor out there for sure. Most of you will know him from Reanimator, potentially, and a whole lot of stuff like that.
30 years ago, he butchered a woman with an axe and then set himself on fire.
It's dark. It's gloomy.
But sadly, he has a very small part in this movie, maybe like 10 minutes, and then we never see him again.
It's filled with terror.
Don't even think about going down there.
So why can't people stay out of the cellar?
I love being frightened.
If you love to be frightened, then this cellar is the place to be. Innocent woman is terrorized. Her life becomes a nightmare when she won't stay out of the basement and is snared by the evil cellar dweller.
What to even begin with saying about this movie? It was very 80s. The effects I thought were great. The special effects were great in my opinion. The story was just whatever. Let me show you this artwork. Oh, it's so great. Who wouldn't want to watch a movie with this roided out demon who obviously was not skipping leg day? I mean, he is quite literally a handsome devil. If anything, I would just say maybe a little manscaping, like trim up the bush a little bit. But other than that, that dude is jacked and ready to party. I can't imagine any person walking past that VHS and being like, oh, that looks like trash. No, that says top tier all the way. Let me read to you what the plot says here on Wikipedia. The oasis of all that is good and true, Wikipedia. Colin Childress, who was played by Jeffrey Combs, a highly successful comic book artist who gained inspiration from a mystical book of horrific drawings, inadvertently summons an evil spirit into his basement studio. Decades later, his house has become a small art institute run by the stern Mrs. Briggs. One night, comely student Whitney Taylor, comely, do any of you know what this word means? Comely student Whitney Taylor goes rooting around the sealed boxes in the cellar and releases the supernatural force trapped there. First of all, I read this beforehand, and I came to that word comely, and I'm like, what the heck? Comely means beautiful or attractive. I don't think I like that word. Don't ever call me, I don't think anybody would, but don't ever call me comely. And don't ever expect somebody, if you called somebody comely, don't ever think they're going to take that as a compliment. Very weird. Very weird. We got Jeffrey Combs. He's this artist, like it said. He takes inspiration from this like Necronomicon type book. He releases this demon. The whole trick behind it is this passage says something like, if you give me form, I will appear. So he draws this demon, and then the demon appears, and what he drew in his cells of his comic kind of are created. He tries to kill the demon. He sets fire to himself in his home, and everybody sees it as if he had murdered this woman and then killed himself. So this home is lived in by several different artists doing their different things. We got a cinematographer, we got a comic book artist, we have some actors, we have some painters, a nice group of people. Come to find out that the cinematographer and our main character, the comely Whitney Taylor, have a beef with each other. They have a history, which is where most of the trouble begins. This other chick that's really a biatch. I mean, there's no way around it. She tries to ruin Whitney. She apparently was successful in derailing some big opportunities for Whitney in the past, and now she's trying to be even more of a biatch, and she's trying to show that Whitney is plagiarizing. Anyway, she's a piece of work. So Whitney is down there trying to work out some of her frustrations, and she draws this basically a cell of a monster killing this other woman. Then lo and behold, it all occurs. Everything that she draws happens in real life. That's how the whole movie goes. Eventually, she realizes what is going on, and she's not like overcome by like, ooh, I have power. I can kill people that are getting in my way. She's freaked out, and she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't want any of this. But now the demon is taking over, and somehow the demon is causing panels to appear that are allowing him to kill more people. Eventually, he kills everyone in there except for Whitney. Whitney finds some way to destroy him. The ending is it was on the verge of being a stupid happy ending, like massively overly happy ending. And then it twists and things get kind of like, yeah, I saw that coming. When it was all said and done, it felt like this was just an extended episode of like The Crypt Keeper or something like that. The storyline just very much felt like one of those short type horror stories that I've seen before. This was just in the long form. I don't even know if it was necessary. Now, this was directed by John Buechler, and John is involved with a lot of stuff. He was involved with Troll, Friday the 13th Part 7, Cellar Dwellers, Ghoulies. This was also written by Don Mancini, who, from what I'm reading, the only movies he ever wrote that were like produced into movies were child's play movies and Cellar Dweller. Cellar Dweller is the only movie that wasn't in the Child's Play series of Don Mancini's that actually got made into a movie. I wonder if he's disappointed about that. Let me read you some of the critical review when Cellar Dweller came out. From Dread Central, gave the film 3 stars out of 5, writing, Cellar Dweller might not be quite up to the level some of the Empire celebrated cult classics have attained, but with equivocal production design and a few familiar faces, not to mention great effects work, which I agree, it's another unique picture worth watching. Now, TV Guide was more negative, giving the film 1 out of 5 stars, and saying, an enjoyable, although not particularly distinguishable effort. Cellar Dweller has a number of small, worthwhile moments. If I was going to go with it, I'm probably going to give it a 5 out of 10 stars, which is just an average movie. I did think the practical effects were good. I enjoyed it. As I mentioned, that handsome devil, that roided out demon was top notch. Some of the things that other people would say are nitpicky and have nothing to do with a review, which this is about me talking what I thought about a movie. There was a scene where the demon is tearing a woman apart and blood is getting sprayed everywhere. Like it's all over the walls. There are specific things that were drawn in the comic book, like a door handle disappears, so the woman can't get out of the room. So the next day, people are going into this woman's room, and a lot of the stuff that was drawn in the comic is still visible, like the doorknob is missing and some other things. But somehow, all the blood that was splattered everywhere is missing. Did this demon, after ripping the people apart and devouring them, did he go back through and scrub it all down? He got his little black light out and made sure that there's no blood splatters all over. He did a spectacular job cleaning everything, especially since that blood splattered all over posters and stuff. How he cleaned those, I have no idea. So that was one thing that I thought was really weird, why there would definitely still be visual effects from the attack, but then somehow all the blood was missing. That was a little weird for me, but I moved past it, be it this is the kind of movie that it is. Would I recommend it? Definitely scratched an itch that I was having over the weekend for that kind of a silly 80s horror film. But even with that being kind of my very particular niche, I'm only giving it a 5 out of 10. I would only recommend this to hardcore horror fans. And this would be a superb movie to watch with a buddy because there are a lot of moments that you could make fun of. It was very fun. And thank you, my very comely audience out there. I appreciate you stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have anything to say about this, I would love to hear your comments. If you need to give me a thumbs down, by all means, hit that button, but leave a comment letting me know why. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.